What's good? It's your boy, the Ultimate Rage, coming back with yet another live here in the No Cap Zone, where we have a strict dress code. Now get the fuck off with that capping ass bullshit. The only kind of cap that we allow around these parts is your thinking cap. Otherwise, you got to move the fuck around. You got to get the fuck from around me, because around these parts, all we care about are the facts, the data, the truth, the information, the evidence, the statistics, things that can actually be demonstrated, like in real life, like in real time, like while we are alive, while we're sane and of sound mind and body, because otherwise I have no idea what the fuck these goofies are talking about. And to be honest with you, they don't know what the fuck they talking about, which is why we gotta talk about it. So, check it out, y'all. I know y'all done heard the news. Everybody's talking about it. We all been the whole world talking about it. So let's just get to it, right? I know y'all done heard the news about what is going on. Israel and the U.S. have made a strike in Iran, and Iran responded by striking some of these U.S. Israel, or at least targeting U.S. Israel embassies in Iran. So this could be the beginning of World War III. What up, Delphi? What up? What up? What up? Delphi. How you pronounce that? Delphi or Delphi? How about I just call you Del? Dude, I'm getting a Del. What up? What up? What up? But yeah, what the fuck is going on, man? What's going on? What the fuck are we doing? What exactly are we doing out in this bitch? What are our goals? What are our aims? Delphi, you gotta pay that Delphi, fam. Otherwise, you can't get the Del. Duh, dummy. Anyway, what yeah, I mean. Yeah, so I guess this is the beginning of World War III, perhaps. The UN is like, no, let's get back to normal, But we know how these fucking psychos are. We know how these loonies are out here. We know that they're fucking on that bullshit. Your name is key to understanding everything. A vector geometry operator. Ancient love. Sound like a bunch of that. Sound like a bunch of nonsense to me. Nah, I'm just playing. Yeah, I was actually just looking up the other day, like an ancient Greek city or some shit. That's cool. But you also know what the ancient Greeks were really into as well, right? But we're not gonna get into that. Or are we? Are we? Are we? Just might. But nah. The fact of the matter is, this is what happens when theocracies run communities and also have access, or are trying to develop access to technologies that could be potentially devastating to society, to the world, to our collective safety and well-being, right? So throughout the fucking decades, even before you or I were born, I guess there have been all of these fucking like dangerous scenarios where we've come close to what's called MAD, mutually assured destruction, nuclear exchanges that could be potentially devastating to human civilization. And see, it's very, 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 very dangerous to have theocracies possessing this type of technology, especially a theocracy like the divided states of corporations, where you have a bunch of loonies that are in office that believe the sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit that they purport on such a constant basis, demonstrating their complete detachment from reality and then showing us on a constant basis how they have no regard for human life. How, if anything, they engage in these antisocial behaviors that demonstrate they don't give a fuck about human life. They don't give a fuck about national security. You can't sit here and tell me that you're working to protect national security and the very way you go about doing it is antagonizing and literally attacking a country that could perhaps threaten our national security, or a country that is backed or supported by other countries that really threaten our national security. I'm pretty sure Russia and North Korea ain't gonna be too happy about all this fucking nonsense. So who's to say how this shit is gonna turn out? But this is the type of shit that causes me to talk about all of this shit. Because ultimately, what is this all for? What is this all for? What is the purpose of all of this shit? Okay, so we attack them because we want to stop them from producing nuclear weapons, from gaining the ability of nuclear weaponry. I get it. I understand that. But why the fuck do we still have that shit? So, I'm looking at this article. Damn it, I hate these buttons. By the Associated Press, the AP, about how Trump says Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei is dead, but Iran has not confirmed his death. What up, my guy? What up, Losky? So, this is how the U.S. conducts itself. And mind you, even though people can say, like, oh yeah, this shit is terrible, horrible, whatever the fuck, this is par for the course. This ain't the first time the U.S. has done shit like this. Y'all remember that fucking Osama guy? You remember that Saddam guy? It's the same kind of shit. What up, my people? My people! La, 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 la. What up? What the fuck is up? Yeah, so the shit's hitting the fan, y'all. I don't know if y'all know that exactly. We kidnapping motherfuckers. Just kidnapping. I don't even know if anything came of that. We still got the dude that we give the dude back. Like, what are we doing? Like, fam, the United States is a fucking terrorist nation. We are terrorists. We are terrorizing the world. We are literally bringing terror to the world. The whole rest of the world is terrified because of the shit that we do. We are acting like psychopaths because we are. We are a psychopathic nation. This is the reason why they drove me off of TikTok, because I keep it too fucking real for y'all. I show y'all, I tell y'all, we see it. We see it. Okay, we see the nonsense. Now look, I'm not a fucking fan of Iran. Okay, it says right here, the assassination of the second leader of the Islamic Republic, who had no designated successor, would throw its future into doubt and raise the prospect of a protracted conflict, given Iranian threats of retaliation. Trump said his death is the single greatest chance for the Iranian people to take back their country. The death occurred after a joint U.S. and Israeli aerial bombardment that targeted Iranian military and governmental sites. Okay, so check this out, right? So, if we took his argument that, oh, this is how Iran could get its future back, then we need to fucking bomb the White House. Uh-oh, that might get me fucking targeted. But, I mean, let's take it seriously. Why has he been saying this shit about Iran? Because allegedly Iran has been murdering protesters, right? That's what Trump has been saying, right? At the same time, we had this whole situation in Minneapolis, here in stateside, right? Where the same thing was literally happening. When we have fucking Renee Good and Alex Preddy being murdered, fucking American citizens, despite this thing called our Fifth Amendment due process rights, right? So what's the difference? So Iran murders protesters at a larger scale. So that means that Trump is the lesser evil, right? That's the argument that Democrats use, right? The lesser evil. But see, in my world, evil is still evil. And as a trying to be good person, trying to be the best person I can be, I'm not gonna willingly choose to support any kind of evil. I don't give a fuck what scale it's at. Why the fuck would a good person support evil? Matter of fact, let's have a conversation about that. What exactly is evil? What is evil? What do see a lot of people, I be in the comments and all these videos, I watch a lot of craft shit. I see a lot of people talk about evil. Oh, this person is evil. Oh, that shit is evil. That's terrible. That's horrible. He's so evil. She's so evil. The way that what do we mean by evil? Well, according to the American Heritage Dictionary of the English Language, 5th edition, evil, morally bad or wrong, wicked, causing ruin, injury, or pain, harmful, characterized by or indicating future misfortune, ominous. Okay, so morally bad, causing ruin, injury, or pain, harmful. Evil is considered harmful. Things that are harmful are evil. Things that are morally bad or wrong, that are wicked, are considered evil. According to Wikipedia, evil is generally defined as profoundly immoral behavior that causes unnecessary pain and suffering to others. It is often seen as the opposite of good and can take various forms, including personal moral evil and impersonal natural evil. Okay. So let's get into the weeds of that, right? See, this is where we got to start talking about philosophy, real life, logic, all that good stuff, okay? So that's evil. But how do we determine that something is evil, that something is morally bad or wrong or wicked, causing ruin, injury, or pain, harmful? And what do we mean by that, right? Because just because we cause harm doesn't necessarily mean it's evil, right? Oh, my internet connection is unstable, guys. My internet connection is unstable, guys. They're letting me know my internet unstable, even though I got almost all bars on my shit, but unstable. So, I mean, they just fucking dropped bombs in Iran, right? Was that necessary evil? I mean, was that necessary harm? Was that harm necessary? Because look, all harm is not evil, right? Like one of the reasons why we love movies, action movies, and stuff like that, crime thrillers, are because they reflect reality of some evil person, some evil doer doing evil and getting their comeuppance, getting caught, getting subdued, getting stopped, getting killed. The hero comes through and they save the day because the evil person, the evil, maniacal, terrible terrorist finally got arrested, finally got shot, finally got stabbed, finally got ended. Right? That's how the movies work. We'll see in real life. In real life, things are more nuanced than that. In real life, things aren't quite that easy. In real life, sometimes there's the gray area. Sometimes you have huge swaths of people who will pretend like they have moral superiority until you demonstrate, I'm not quite that sure about that. So that's why we have to have these conversations as a society, because we have too many fucking loonies around us who want to have their say, who want to have their claim on what's good and what's not. And they think that they have the correct, most accurate, most morally upstanding code until we look at real life. And then we see, actually, that's not all that good. Matter of fact, that might be evil. That's one of the reasons why I'm such an anti-theist. That's the reason why I'm anti-theocracies. That's why I challenge theocracy. That's why I challenge theology and theism as a whole. Because the reality is theism is wrong. I don't think there needs to be any more debate about that. Theism is simply wrong. Not a single theist in the world could demonstrate any of their theistic fucking bullshit. Not a single one. Not one. I don't care what brand of delusion you subscribe to. A delusion is a delusion. So knock it the fuck off with that delusional craziness. Anybody talking about they heard this special voice tell them and instruct them and give them all this? Cap! Cappity fucking cap! Shut the fuck up with that talk ass bullshit. Miss me with the Tardo Bernardo ass bullshit. If there is some supernatural, super entity, super intelligence, super thing of whatever the fuck you call it, show us right now. See, the reason we talk about this is because here in America, 2/3 of the population are some form of Christian. And then you got countries like Iran and Saudi Arabia and fucking Iraq and all these other countries. Look, our internet connection unstable again. Got all these other Muslim countries, all these Islamic countries, all these countries that subscribe to this other brand of sci-fi fantasy lunacy that engage in their form of absurdity. None of Molly, what up, what up, what up? Molly Moore, what up? But yeah, we have all these other countries with their version of their sci-fi fantasy nonsense, and they want to fucking purport they got the best ideas, and then we see the crazy shit they do. And then they act like they're so amazing and wonderful. But let you say a word about their supernatural, super weird. Well, not even the supernatural. See, I feel like these loonies have more value or put more value towards attacking their guy than their super thing. You talk about aligned shit, okay, it's all good. You talk about Muhammad, they ready to shoot shit up. They ready to blow shit up. They ready to hunt you down and shoot you down in the street, blow you up with a motherfucking suicide bomb. They ready to fucking go crazy if you fucking say the word move. You say the boy moo. You say the homeboy moo boo, moo hoo. They ready to Charlie Hebdo some shit. For what? What's the big deal about any of this shit? Why do they put so much value in this shit? For what? What exactly does any of it accomplish? What exactly does this shit do to help the world, to help our society, to help anything? How is any of this helping anything? You'll have a loony like Trump tell you the Lord told him some craziness, some absurdity. They'll tell you, oh no, we're being persecuted. We're being so, even though they're the extreme majority of the fucking population. They're the extreme majority. 200 million people out of 300 million people, and somehow they're being persecuted. I don't know how the fuck that works. I don't know where the math works with that. I don't know how the majority could ever be persecuted. What the fuck does that mean? What are they talking about? How can the majority of people get persecuted? I don't understand that mindset. You are the ones that are in power. You are the ones that are in control. You are the ones that can press the button right now. But you're the one getting persecuted. Get the fuck out of here with that crazy talk. Multi-trillion-dollar industry, but y'all are the fucking victims. Get the fuck out of here. What is this craziness? This is what happens when loonies run the nation. This is why I say all the time, America's a crazyocracy. It's a nation run by fucking loonies. These loonies that don't know what the hell they're talking about, and they're never held to task. They are never, ever held accountable for their lunacy. This is why we as a society have to stop. Knock it off with the PC ass garbage. That's why I've stopped giving a fuck, especially after the shit I went through with TikTok. I am done holding my tongue. I am not with none of this PC ass shit. If you a softie that can't handle real shit, get the fuck off my shit. Get the goddamn fuck off my shit. Because it is time now in the modern age that we get real. That we get all the fucking way real. I am the inevitability of all this fucking cap-ass garbage that I see in the scam capital, the capital of the world, the divided states of corporations. I don't call it the United States no more. We're the divided states. The states don't even agree with each other. How the fuck are we united? And motherfuckers are talking about we're on the verge of civil war again. We about to have motherfucking Civil War 2, the fucking ultimate rebellion, the sequel. The sequel nobody fucking asked for because we got so many fucking retarded ass loonies around us that we can't fucking slap them silly. Make them see straight. Hey. What is this super thing that you're fucking talking about, dude? Who is the supernatural super thingy that somehow said you loonies are somehow the greatest, most pure race of all the races, that you're the greatest, that your gender is the fucking superior gender, that your fucking color is the best color, that your ideology is the best ideology? Shut the fuck up with that shit. Show us that shit right now. See, this is what I do. All that tart talk, all that Tardo Bernardo ass bullshit these loonies be talking about. We put all the debates and all the goofy shit to the side. And we say, show us that shit right now. That's specifically why I do lives. Okay? So that if any of these loonies want to come through here disagreeing, being like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't understand the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Shut the fuck up with that shit. Show us that shit. What is all this simp ass bullshit for? Who is it helping? How does it help us right now? In any way, shape, or form? How are you using the sci-fi fantasy nonsense to fucking quell all this shit? The shit with North Korea right now. Or not, I said North Korea. The shit with Iran right now. How do we fucking use the supernatural, superintelligence, the triune trinity, triumvirate trilogy, trio, triumvirate, whatever, 3 in 1, the 1 in 3, the fucking phone, internet, and television plan, or whatever the fuck you call that shit. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, 3 in 1. You get 3 for the price of 1 deal. BOGO! No. Bonked! Buy 1, get 2! BOGO is buy 1, get 1. Bonked! Buy 1, get 2! Well, I guess it would be 3, because you get 3 in 1, not 1. But I guess because it's 1, but then you get 2 more, so you buy 1 and then you get, I don't know. Show us any one of them shits. Anyone. I don't care which one you want to pick. Pick one. Whichever one. I don't give a fuck which one. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Fucking Krishna, Sinu, Zeus, Poseidon, whatever fucking brand of crazy that you subscribe to, that you believe so strongly is the fucking truth. Show us that shit right now. It's 4:25 p.m. Central Standard Time on February the 28th, 2026 AD. Show us that shit right now. Any of that sci-fi fantasy lunacy right now. If it's not sci-fi fantasy lunacy, if it's really the truth, if it's really so fucking real as these loonies love to claim, show us that shit. People, what up? What's up, Greg? What up? All of this lunacy that we see all around us is not helping us create a well-functioning society at all. If it was, we would not be here. Okay? I show y'all this shit all the fucking time, every single fucking day. According to the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists, it is now 85 seconds to midnight, which is the closest the clock has ever been to midnight in its history. In other words, we are on the path to self-destruction. And ironically, this is literally before all this Iran shit happened. Literally, on January 20... Look, on January 27th, this fucking doomsday clock was set. The very next day, the 28th, is when Trump said, oh yeah, by the way, Iran either fucking shut down your program or we fucking shooting shit off. The next day. The next day. That was the 27th. This is the closest that the fucking doomsday clock has ever been to midnight. 85 seconds. I can't imagine what it is or what it would be if they fucking adjusted it based on this Iran shit. Basically, we are on the track of potentially fucking shit up. But for what? For what? Why? Over nukes? Because we don't want them to have nukes, but we're cool with having nukes because what? Why do we need nukes? Matter of fact, let me show you this shit. And a lot of y'all might get pissed off at this. A lot of y'all probably ain't gonna like what I have to say about this. Because I know a lot of y'all love this nigga. Probably think this dude is the greatest dude ever in the fucking history of humanity. Probably think this dude is the greatest president in the history of fucking America. Check this out. So, this is NPR, all right? Obama's nuclear paradox, pushing for cuts, agreeing to upgrades. What the fuck? And look, May 25th, 2016 at 3:20 p.m. Eastern Time, that's 2:20 p.m. my time, Central Time, by Philip Ewing. What's this have to do? President Obama came into office with the dream of a world without nuclear weapons, and he's sure to touch on this theme Friday when he becomes the first sitting U.S. president to visit Hiroshima, site of the world's first atomic bombing. Yet, Obama also has put the U.S. on course to spend around $1 trillion on upgrading its nuclear arsenal over the next 3 decades, critics say. No. What in the fuck is that? What is that? What the fuck is that? Why? What? Huh? I'm so, I thought we were trying to create a more peaceful nation. I thought we were trying to I don't know, get along, engage in things like diplomacy. What is the point of spending $1 trillion on upgrading nuclear arsenal? Oh, let me guess. So we can actually use them on somebody? And for what? So we can potentially destroy the world? Yeah, that's retarded as fuck. Why the fuck would we do that? You do know we have to live on this planet, right? We don't have anywhere else to go. Because there's nowhere else that's close by that's super inhabitable right now. I mean, yeah, there's Proxima B all the way over in and what's it called? Damn, what the fuck is that shit called? That other star system. Damn. What is that shit called? It's a planet in the Alpha Centauri system. Yeah. Alpha Centauri, which is only about 4.2 light years away from Earth, right? Let's see. It would take us about 80 fucking thousand years to get there using our fastest spacecraft. So I don't know about you. I don't know if you got 80,000 fucking years to make it to another fucking planet. So, we kind of sort of got to take care of this one because it's kind of like all we got. And so, like, destroying it would be like absolutely retarded as fuck. Making it uninhabitable for us would be like stupid as hell. Hindering our ability to breathe and drink clean water and eat clean food and like not suffer from radiation poisoning. Like that would kind of be absurd if we like didn't like try our best to do that. Because the fact of the matter is, we have not become a Kardashev type 1 civilization, let alone a higher level Kardashev civilization at all. We are still stuck on this planet right here. It's all we have. And I know so and so over there and such over here might be doing things that we don't like. But why cut your nose to spite the face? Why? There are better options than just dropping fucking bombs on motherfuckers. As I stated, there's this thing called diplomacy. This is what these leaders are so fucking supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be leading. They're supposed to be trying to work out deals with other nations before they choose to engage in violence, right? If I want what you got, but you won't give it to me, I'm a shitty person if I try to beat it out of you. That would make me a bully, right? So why are we the supposedly greatest nation in the world? Why are we trying to bully other countries? For what? We want to stop these other countries from attaining nuclear weapons. Why is that such a big deal? And I'm not saying that it's not a big deal. I'm asking the question, why is it a big deal? It's a big deal because if you have a loony with high power weapons, the loony might actually use it. Now, isn't it weird how in the fucking United States, so many loonies are so pro Second Amendment? And they're the very people who shouldn't be able to engage in the Second Amendment. And what do I always say? In the Second Amendment, the first thing it says, I don't know if y'all can read that. The very, very first thing it says, a well-regulated militia. And yet these Second Amendment loonies, they tend to hate. I mean, absolutely loathe regulations. They hate it. They can't stand it. They think everybody and their mama should have access to guns. Those are the same loonies that shouldn't have access to guns at all. Because those are the loonies who will fucking use it. And use it for the most antisocial purposes, pretending like somehow this is protecting their family, protecting their loved ones. They're not protecting shit. Ice, baby, what's up? Oh, my fucking people coming through. What the fuck is good? What the hell is goddamn good, you fuck? God damn. Let's fucking go. This might be the most people I've had in a while. Yeah, shit's going down, fam. Shit is going down, and we here to talk about it. We talking about this craziness, this absurdity that we have been seeing this entire fucking time. We talking about the nukes. We talking about why do we not want Iran to have weapons? Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. Well, they come through. Fuck. Nah, but why don't we want Iran to get weapons? Why don't we want them to have nuclear weapons? Because we don't trust their ability. We don't trust their willingness to not use it against us. I bet you might know something I don't. But it's like, as usual, You don't want a loony to have access to dangerous weapons or chemicals or whatever, because this loony might get in their loony ass brain that they should use it and that they should use it against us, threatening our national security. But our nation is not secure at all. In fact, the very people whose jobs it is to protect national security got us 85 seconds to midnight. And that's before all this Iran shit. So that means that these loonies are literally fucking failing their jobs. They are failing at their fucking jobs. They should all be removed for not having any fucking impact on helping to reverse this trend. That they're literally helping us as a society to destroy ourselves, which is why we're 128 out of 163 countries on the Global Peace Index, which explains why it is so difficult for us to get a word in edgewise as to how these loonies who are supposed to be helping us always want to help industry, but never us. So that's why we got to talk about how these fucking loonies have failed us miserably and why they continually fail us and why they think somehow that they've been doing such an amazing fucking job. How could they possibly think that they have been doing an awesome job when at the end of the day, they are the very ones endangering our national security? Because last time I checked, I thought that our fucking, I don't know, our nation, our collective survival. I really, really thought that yeah, allegedly, but that hasn't been confirmed. So we don't know. But the thing is, I thought that our survival was like of the utmost importance. Like that's literally the barometer for how well we're doing at protecting national security. Because, if a nuclear bomb gets dropped in America, that would kind of really seriously threaten our national security a lot. And how can we accomplish anything if we're dead? We have all these existential threats, all these different things that could fuck us over. And literally zero of these loonies want to help us at all. I mean, none. I mean, absolutely none of these loonies even think about addressing any of these topics. Matter of fact, they go so far, like the current administration is literally so in the bed with the energy industry, with the oil industry and all that they're literally just dismissing reality, talking about how climate change ain't real. They still on that. The fact that we live in this idiocracy, the fact that we have these crazies, these loonies, these imbeciles in office, literally saying, yeah, fuck information. In the information age, they're like, fuck information. Yeah, how about bullshit? Yeah. No, that's where it is. Fucking bullshit. We're gonna make that our fucking platform. Yeah. Let's try to accomplish dumb shit that doesn't actually help shit. Who the fuck is sitting around saying, yeah, this administration doing an amazing fucking job? Awesome. Like, our lives are so much fucking better right now. We are living it up. America's never been better. If this is greatness to you, you're retarded. And I have no problem saying that. I have no problem offending anybody. If you get offended by that, great. You are who I'm talking about. Because if you were a sensible person, you would see that this is clearly suboptimal. This is clearly not the conditions of a great country at all. There is no way you're going to sit here and tell me that this is greatness, that threatening our collective health and wellness, our collective survivability as a whole, that is great. If you think that's great, you're suicidal and you need psychological help, and that's what it is. And considering the fact that we are in the midst of a mental health and substance abuse crisis, I wouldn't be surprised. We have so many fucking loonies around us. As I've stated so many times, the whole reason why I even started doing these lives is because I had a friend who was a very intelligent person, but who's a fucking loony. Such a loony that we end up arguing over 2 + 2 for an hour. And I couldn't believe it because, like, I'm a math guy. right? I'm a pretty, I'm not gonna say I'm a mathematician, but I was on the math team in high school, and I was, part of the team that was kicking fucking ass all over the fucking state of Illinois. But that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is, the basics should be basic because they're easy to grasp. 2 + 2 = 4. That's it. See, if you take two things, right? You take two things, and then you take two more things. Now you got four things. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that should be basic. There should be no debate about that. That's not something that we should be going back and forth about for fucking any time. Like these are just basic arithmetic. Basic. Unless you have some unique insight, some super amazing mathematical fucking understanding that challenges that in ways that force us to rethink the way we go about doing things, shut the fuck up with that craziness. Talking about you arguing with me. Well, but in this other country and these other cultures, they shut the fuck up. I couldn't believe my fucking friend was talking like that to me. And it made me realize this is the lunacy that we have around us. And mind you, as I've stated, as most of y'all already know, this is a friend who is earning his master's. And it goes to show you how deep the loony bin goes, because at the end of the day, even highly educated, highly intelligent people can be loony as hell. That's why we're seeing all this Epstein shit right now. All these people with all these accolades and all these fucking prestige and all these accomplishments, and they've got all this wealth and success and fame and fortune. Yeah, they're fucking loonies. That's why we've been seeing all these people resigning from all these positions, resigning from Harvard, resigning from the government, resigning from teaching at fucking different universities and all that type of shit. Motherfuckers getting arrested and all that type of shit. Why? Because we're finally realizing in the modern age, we got a bunch of loonies all around us everywhere. I learned in the course of my research, at least 1% of the population are psychopaths. That might not sound like a lot, 1%, the 1%, until you realize that 1% of 300 million people is 3 million people. That's like the city of Chicago plus another million or so of people that are literal psychopaths. Motherfuckers, and look, not all psychopaths are violent, not all psychopaths are murderous, fucking heinous rapists or whatever. But a motherfucker who's a heinous rapist more than likely is going to be psychopathic. And when you have psychopaths that attain positions of leadership in government and executive boards, yeah, they might be hyper efficient at their task, but that doesn't mean that their task is helping society, which is why earlier in the live we asked, what do we mean by evil? In my opinion, evil is when you have the data and you either refuse to use it, or worse, you just dismiss it. Or even worse, you try to twist it to fit your propagandistic narrative so that you can push some bullshit agenda that's ultimately antisocial, that literally hurts society rather than actually help it. And that is why I'm such an anti-theist, because all these loonies that get into leadership just so happen to all be theists all at the same time. And a lot of the time, they use their theistic nonsense as the basis for their decision making, particularly this administration, even though they've all done it. All of them have done it. Democrat, Republican, Republican, Democrat, Democrat, Republican, Republican, Democrat. They all love them some fucking Jesus, despite the fact that not a single one, zero of these loonies have demonstrated the existence of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But what they have demonstrated on a constant basis is their extreme fucking lunacy and their extreme bitch ass bias for industry. That's why the mainstream media, that's why all these influencers, celebrities, government officials, they don't talk about the shit we talk about. They don't give a fuck about the Global Peace Index. They don't give a fuck about the doomsday clock. They don't give a damn about how they affect us. They've convinced people so fucking hard with propaganda that people don't even fight for anything. Or if they do fight for things, they're not the things that actually fight the core of the problem. The fact that America has become this hyper-capitalist, plutocratic, oligarchical, kakistocratic, kleptocratic, gerontocratic, theocratic, idiocratic, craziocratic, techno-feudalist corporatocracy. A nation run by a bunch of rich, old, bitch-made, thieving-ass, conniving-ass, unqualified-ass, crazy-ass, idiotic, imbecilic, buffoonish, thieving-ass, hoe-ass, bitch-made-ass Jesus freaks who don't know shit about fuck other than being bitch-ass simps for the rich, the banks, the corporations, and the churches, using fucking technology to divide us all. Got us fighting amongst each other over partisan bullshit, or, oh, you're team this and he's team that, or, oh, I fuck with fucking Drake, but he fucks with Kendrick Lamar. All this dumb shit that keeps us divided, that keeps us segregated, ultimately incapable of working together interdependently with synergy to fighting against this bullshit. That's why I say that we're the divided states of corporations, because we don't agree about nothing. We're not united on nothing. We don't unite for nothing but the Super Bowl. And even then, what the fuck does the Super Bowl do? The Super Bowl had zero effect on this doomsday clock. All these monies changed hands, but it had no effect on improving the state of our society at all. It helped to improve the bottom line for a bunch of corporations. It helped a lot of rich people get even richer, but it didn't push us to 90 seconds to midnight on the doomsday clock. It didn't push us to 127 on the Global Peace Index. Motherfuckers don't even talk about that. And then we wonder why we have these suboptimal conditions. We wonder why we see all this absurdity, all this craziness, all this violence, all this mayhem, all this chaos occurring on a consistent, persistent basis every fucking day. All these fucking horrible fucking mass shootings and mass stabbings and fucking rapes and just all types of crazy shit. And then loonies that have the nerve to get mad at me, talk shit about me, because I'm like, yeah, this shit is fucking crazy. We should, like, I don't know, stop it or something, fight against it or some shit, reduce these numbers to zero, or at least in the peace index, let's try to be number one. Or with the doomsday clock, how about let's take it to infinity? How about we do everything to literally shore up our fucking survival so that our survival is never in question, to where we have control over our survivability, to where we actually can work together with other countries, work together with other people, work together as our people, so that we can actually live up to our name of the United States of America. Because we started off separated. We started off as a fucking two-tier justice system. We started off with the haves and the have-nots, the humans and the subhumans. These are the real Americans, but those are fucking 3/5 of a fucking person or whatever the fuck. That's how we start. That's how the United States was founded. That's why you don't hear me singing the fucking national anthem, pledging allegiance to shit. That's why you don't see me celebrating the founding fathers, because half of them own my fucking ancestors. They can eat a cock. They can eat a bag of dicks. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. This is the reality that we have been living with all this time. And we've had to deal with all of these fucking loonies who love to pretend like this shit isn't real, who love to try to just ignore reality, or worse, try to cover it up, try to fucking literally seriously rewrite history and try to pretend like none of that shit ever happened to begin with. What the hell is going on with these fucking loonies? And why are we continuously allowing them to dictate to us their loony shit? See, I do what I do because I care about reality. That's why I'm so anti-theistic. That's why I attack theism so fucking much, especially Christianity, since that's the dominant religion here in America. Because you can't even run for a high public office unless you got mad money and you're a super duper Christy Christian, or at least that you profess that shit. You can't be an atheist like me. You can't be an anti-theist like me and say, nah, that shit is bullshit. Because then somehow motherfuckers have determined that somehow I'm unapproachable, unemployable, unpresidential because I won't play the fucking game. I won't say, my fellow Americans, I am here to tell you that America is the greatest country in the world. We are so amazing and wonderful, and the Lord is totally, smoothly watching over us. He's going to do this and do that, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that because we're so fucking great. Meanwhile, children get raped every fucking day. Meanwhile, women are getting accosted every fucking day. Meanwhile, we just pretend like all these people aren't suffering every day. Homelessness is rising, nobody gives a fuck. All these fucking hurricanes, nobody gives a fuck. All these fucking wildfires, nobody gives a fuck. All these tornadoes, nobody gives a fuck. All this violence and mayhem, mass shootings, and thoughts and prayers, and then we just go on about our day. I'm sorry, that's not great to me. That's not greatness. I don't look at that as greatness. I understand if you think that's great, but you are in need of mental health help. You have obviously not been taking your fucking meds. You need to go back and take your fucking meds and then lay in your bed and don't fucking come out till you get your retarded ass mind right. Because clearly something's wrong with you if this is greatness to you. If this is the greatest country in the world to you, you're out of your fucking mind. And I have no problem saying that. I have no problem offending anybody who wants to say that. Look, I get that you love your country. Okay, I'm an American. I do this shit because I love my country too. But love is about being real when it's appropriate. When you love somebody, you ain't gonna tell them the truth all the time. But you're gonna tell them the truth when they need to hear it. Right? Maybe I don't think that dress looks all that great on you, but I'm not gonna fucking shit on you. If you love that dress, I love it too. Now, if it really, really looks bad on you, if it's really gonna make you look like shit and have you out here all right, I'm gonna tell you the real. Look, you can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. I'm sorry. You just shouldn't do it. If you're gonna do it, I can't be there with you when you do it. If it's really that big of a deal, I'm gonna let you know. Look, fam, I get it. You want to wear it, but you look horrible. It's not going to be a good look. Everybody going to clown the fuck out you. Now, if you don't mind it, hey, do you, boo? I'm just telling you what it is. Right? But that's the thing. It's a delicate balancing act. But see, when it comes to our very survival, it's no holds barred. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Because ultimately our survival is of the utmost importance. Therefore, I'm going to be fucking no holds barred. I'm going to be straight up, like, unbridled, fucking completely unhinged, direct, open, honest. I swear to God, I'm gonna be fucking relentless about it. Uncensored, unfiltered, like, fam. I'm going to keep it all the way 100. That's why I show you the shit I be talking about. That's why I don't just say shit because it sounds cute. I don't just be saying shit because I think that, oh, it might fucking get people to fucking be super mad at me. Or I might fucking ruffle some feathers. I tell y'all the truth. I show y'all the truth because this is what people need to know. These are the things that people need to know, and I find it disgusting, absolutely abhorrent that all of these media industries, all these media companies have failed so miserably to inform the public, right? Just like the other day, I was talking about these suicide statistics, right? Talking about how 49,000 people died by suicide in 2023. That's a death every fucking 11 minutes. How many adults think about suicide or attempt suicide? 12.8 million seriously thought about suicide. 3.7 million made a plan for suicide. 1.5 million attempted suicide. And yet, none of these sci-fi fantasy ideologies talk about this shit at all. They don't discuss the statistics. They don't discuss methods for helping people like not want to engage in suicide. They don't talk about. They about to have their weekly sci-fi fantasy meetups tomorrow. I bet you 0 of them are going to talk about any of this shit at all. because they love to do that toxic positivity shit. Ain't none of them gonna talk about how they can knock it off with all this fucking war shit, how we can actually create peace and tranquility, how we can work together interdependently with synergy as a human race, as American citizens, to work toward creating a society that prioritizes our survival, our health, our wellness, and our ability to master our reality. They don't give a fuck. They're more focused on the next life that they could say fuck all with this one. That's why I say all the time that theism is actually nihilism. See, they like to say we're the nihilists because to them, if there's no God, then what's the meaning to life? How can we have meaning in life if there's no God? Tell you how. Because now that we know ain't no supernatural, super intelligent, super thing, we can become the supernatural, super intelligent, super things. Us human beings, yes. You, me, all of us. That we can become supernatural. And what I mean by that, not that fucking crazy dumb shit they be talking about. I mean supernatural as in like we can take nature and then take it to super levels by understanding it, by mastering it. Where we can eradicate all diseases, all birth defects, all injuries, all that type. We can just eradicate that from the human gene pool. To where we can ensure that we can gain control over the length of our lives, where we can lengthen our lives, where we can control when we want to check out versus leaving it up to chance. Catching a heart attack one day when you walk into work, or getting hit by a car, or being diagnosed with cancer when you ain't smoked a day in your life, or anything, especially the suicide shit, right? Where people say, you know what, fuck it, I'm in perfectly good health, but I just feel like taking myself out. I just feel like checking out, self-checkout. I'm going to the self-checkout now. And these bitch-ass social media companies are so hoe-ass and bitch-made that they make it difficult for us to even talk about the shit. But we got to worry about possibly getting demonetized because these whole-ass advertisers might not want to fucking sponsor me because I said the word and it might violate the community guidelines. What the fuck have these whole-ass community guidelines done to protect us as a society? Despite their rigorous community guidelines, we're 85 seconds to midnight. What the fuck are your community guidelines doing to protect us from that? This is why I have smoke for everyone. You can't sit here and tell me that you're working to protect the community if we're 85 seconds to midnight. That literally threatens the fuck out of our community. And how the fuck are you protecting it if you ain't talking about the shit at all? And not only that, restricting our ability to talk about it. Restricting our ability to profit from talking about it. To make money talking about how we can actually solve problems. See, it's shit like that. Because at the end of the day, this is the real game. All these companies that get paid off of chaos, they want the chaos. See, if everything's peaceful, news agencies don't have crazy shit to report on. They don't have crazy shit to talk about. If we're a peaceful nation, what the fuck NBC gonna talk about? Oh, how the birds shit on that windshield, or this fucking marathon runner came in 407th place, or what? That's not juicy enough news. We're not gonna sell newsletters like that. We're not gonna get 1,200% increases in signups for that. We need the chaos. If it bleeds, it leads. Unless it don't bleed enough or it don't bleed the way we want it to bleed. This is the game. This is what capitalism does. This is what theocracy does. It keeps everybody in the state of bullshit. I don't even know what the hell they're even fighting for. I don't know what the hell exactly they're working towards. Like, what are they working to accomplish? All these Christians, I mean, literally, here in America, 200 million Christians out of like 300 plus million people. What the fuck are these Christians accomplishing? What do they actually do? How are they using Christianity to help improve our nation, to help improve our social fabric, to strengthen the social fabric. What exactly do they do? I mean, think about how, we talked about that FACE Act, right? How Bill Clinton introduced what might be an unconstitutional bill, the FACE Act, which was implemented as a result of all these Christian loonies blowing up abortion clinics and assassinating abortion doctors, attempting to assassinate abortion doctors, fucking vandalizing buildings, all this fucking terrorist-like activity that they've been engaging in, right? They got all this smoke because they want to fucking protect the babies, right? But they don't have that same energy for actual babies, literal babies who are actually born and like are alive right now, like who actually exist, like they were successfully like held to term and they were birthed. And then they're alive. They were born. They were happy, healthy babies. Maybe they might have been premature. Maybe they might have had certain issues, but they were born and they were alive. We see so many children here and around the world losing their lives for all kinds of ridiculous reasons. And these sci-fi fantasy loonies don't even think about it. They don't even address it. They don't even talk about it. It's not even a topic of discussion. And if it is a topic of discussion, they'll find some way of blaming everybody else. They'll find a way to blame everybody because they took the Lord out to school. It's because nobody believes in prayer anymore. They're trying to take prayer out to school. Nonsense. Nigga, my neighborhood got more churches than schools. So I'm not even trying to hit the argument. Matter of fact, I just seen on the news the other day that charter schools here in Chicago starting to fail. They got to close some of them down. The CPS, the Chicago Public School, got to start taking over some of these loonies because these loonies didn't know what the hell they were doing. 2 fucking private charter schools shutting down. 600 fucking students got to get displaced among the fucking CPS. That's the type of shit we got to deal with. These are the type of issues that become a result of hypercapitalism. Even the fucking state of schools is unstable. Despite all these resources all around us, you can't tell me that, we're strapped for cash because all I see is the exchange of money all around me. All I see is billions and trillions of dollars flowing through the American economy. It just so happens to not be flowing this way. It be flowing that way, this way, but not to here. What the fuck is that? So that's why we have to work together interdependently with synergy as a society to work against this shit. That's why I ask all the time, what exactly do we want as people? What are our goals? What are our aims? What are we striving for? What are we pushing towards? See, when we don't have that conversation as a society, we get nowhere, literally nowhere, because we don't even know where to go. So we ain't going nowhere. That's why we've experienced so much stagnation. So as a result, we as people have to have these extremely important conversations of understanding what exactly we're trying to do so that then we can do it and then do it to the best of our ability so that we can accomplish something. First, we have to determine what exactly we want to accomplish. That's why, personally, I set the overarching goal at mastering reality. That's the end goal. That's the ultimate goal, to master reality. Because it is my opinion that the better we can master reality, the better we can become, the more effective and efficient we can become at shaping our reality toward our collective benefit, for creating a society that prioritizes our collective ability to survive and thrive as a fucking flourishing society where people can have their basic needs met, where we don't have to have these unnecessary conflicts, where we can live harmoniously, where we can work together interdependently with synergy to constantly improve. And then we can iterate this success. We can constantly create a positive feedback loop of positivity, of forward motion, where we're constantly getting better and better and better and better and better, improving, evolving, and reaching levels that are so amazing that we just have a runaway amazing effect. That's what we're pushing toward. But these sci-fi fantasy fucking loonies are literally standing directly in the way of this progress. Because that's not what they believe in. That's not what they want. And it wouldn't be that big of a deal if it weren't so fucking many of them. Now, I'm not going to say that they're all right. I mean, we know that there are some of them that do stand on the right side or whatever for the most part. But it's the fact that there's so many of them. And so many of them don't understand reality. They have a warped sense of reality. That's why we challenge this nonsense, because it's simply not true. It's simply not true. And as I've stated, what have they done to help our society? What are they doing right now? I mean, 200 million people. You can't tell me that if 200 million people work together interdependently with synergy towards a common goal, that they couldn't accomplish that goal right now. 200 million people, fam. Hell, 200,000 people. 200 people. I mean, look at a corporation. What's a corporation? It's a group of people. What's a gang? A group of people. What is a fucking 501c3? A group of people. That's it. All these organizations are just organized groups of people. That's why they call it an organization. It's an organization of people. When they try to say corporations are people, cap. Corporations are made up of people. A corporation is not a person. A corporation is just an idea, an entity, a physical manifestation of what AI would be digitally. A faceless, nameless, non-physical entity that's hyper efficient at extracting resources from communities. That's it. That's all a corporation is. It's basically a group of people hoarding wealth for themselves. Maximizing shareholder profit is how they formally describe it. But they're just resource extraction mechanisms. Same for churches, same shit. Church is just a group of people. And they're another resource extraction mechanism. That's why there's so many in the communities. We have all these churches all down the block, right here on 79th Street. What exactly are they contributing to society? What are they actually doing that's helping the society? This is one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the fucking nation. Auburn Gresham, 079 Killer Ward. What the hell are these churches doing to help society at all? What are they providing? What is the product / service that they are providing that is helping us? I'll tell you, not a goddamn thing. That's why I say that Christianity and theism as a whole is the greatest, longest running sci-fi fantasy MLM scam in human history, because they provide a service / product that doesn't even exist. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, what the fuck is that? I'll tell you what, not a goddamn thing. It's nothing. Fictional characters that some loony thousands of years ago conjured up that doesn't mean anything. Honestly, to me, it's the manifestation of somebody's psychosis. Somebody was hearing voices, they put a name to it, God, and somehow it took off all these loonies. All these loonies bought in. And for thousands of years, these loonies were bought the fuck in. And the group of loonies just kept improving and exploding. Fucking kingdoms took over other kingdoms, and motherfuckers forced this group to switch over to that group, or else you gonna get the fucking sword and all this type of shit. But now that we live in the modern age, now that we live in the 21st century, we got to call these ideas and these ideologies into question. Because ultimately, we got to get real with reality. And the fact of the matter is that science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics has evolved so much over time. So many discoveries have been made. So many innovations have been made. So many new understandings and fucking insights have been discovered and gathered. Our collective wisdom is so much more vast than ever before in human history. And yet, so many people still subscribe to these ancient sci-fi fantasy ideologies. But for what? For what? Why? To accomplish what? See, now that we're in the 21st century, now that we got these cell phones, now that we got social media, now that we got the internet, now that we have the ability to come together and actually be live in real time, now these sci-fi fantasy loonies have to demonstrate to us that their ideas are actually accurate. I say this all the time. I don't have the need to be right. I have a need to be accurate. I didn't pick my position because I wanted to pick my position. I reached my position because I finally understood better. I gained a better education. What up, famo? What up, what up, what up? I gained an education. I learned. I studied. I read. I surfed the internet. I poured over all kinds of news articles, over all kinds of data, all kinds of fucking studies and experiments and what have you. That's why I show y'all the shit that I discover. Now, you can take it with a grain of salt. You don't have to accept everything I say at face value, nor should you. The whole purpose of me doing all this shit is for us to have conversations so that we can actually help to build our collective wisdom, to build our collective intelligence. Because I know that y'all know shit that I don't, that y'all know different things and different aspects of shit that I can't access or that I wasn't able to access. Right? Y'all come at shit from different angles, and that's what's supposed to make the social fabric even stronger because we can all see the same thing from different angles. You can see from this angle, I can see from that angle, and that is what's supposed to help us both be able to understand each other, right? That's where empathy comes in because we can all see each other. I see you, you see me, you see where I'm coming from, I see where you're coming from. That's why I challenge theists, because they always talk about their personal experience. They had this personal experience with the supernatural super thing, and it was so amazing and so wonderful and so fucking great. But when we're live in real time, they can't show none of that shit. So that's why I'm one of those people that will say theism is evil, that theocracy is evil. Because the fact of the matter is, theists know they have nothing. Theists know that they're full of shit. So to base a society off of theism is insane. It's stupid, and ultimately it's evil. Think about the fact of, okay, let's just assume theism was true. Let's assume it was true. Why would they have such a problem with somebody like me? Why wouldn't they just show me their shit and convince me like that? Like, I'm not some rigid fucking loony who stands on my position just because I want to. I stand on it because it's the most rational position to hold given current available data. And these theists lack of it. They couldn't begin to tell you where the Lord resides, how we can actually determine this with currently available technologies, tools, methodologies. They have nothing. They can't show us anything. If they could, why wouldn't they do it right now? It's 5:13 p.m. Central Standard Time on February the 28th, and they still have not a goddamn thing. They're going to come together tomorrow, right? A lot of these groups are going to have their fucking weekly meetups. They're going to pay their weekly membership fees, right? They're going to contribute to the greatest scam in the history of the world. And not a single one of these loonies are going to be able to demonstrate to us a literal coordinate, a literal address, a literal physical location that this Father, Son, and or Holy Spirit thing can ever be found. Because if they could, why not do it right now? And then they can show us how we can use this thing, this supernatural super thing, to actually accomplish stuff. Because at the end of the day, they have nothing. Not only do they have nothing, but they don't seem to even be remotely bothered with figuring anything out right now. That's why I chastise them. That's why I challenge them every day. That's why we show these statistics every day. Because if they cared, why don't they talk about it? You mean to tell me 200 million people don't give a fuck about how 49,000 people died by suicide in 2023? None of these sci-fi fantasy loonies give a fuck at all. None of them care about trying to reduce this number. We got one death every 11 minutes due to suicide. And yet, none of these minor fuckers give a fuck. It's like they want people to die by suicide. They want people to kill themselves because that's great for business. They require this suboptimal state of the human condition so that they can continue to get paid, so that they can continue acquiring membership, so that they can continue improving their numbers. But yet they continuously fail year after year, day after day, to demonstrate how their way is helpful in any way, in any real way that truly improves the fabric of America, that truly improves the state of our nation, that truly improves the state of humanity as a whole. It sickens me when I see these POTUSes chastising Muslims, right? And mind you, I'm no Muslim fan. People say I'm Islamophobic. I don't give a fuck. I'm theismophobic. Fuck theism. Theism is wrong. Theism is useless. Theism is garbage. Straight garbage. It's evil. How you gonna chastise that brand of theism, but then promote your own brand of theism and fail miserably to demonstrate how this brand of theism helps anything, right? We talked about this before, right? How the president put out this memo last year, couple days before Captain Kirk ultimately had to beam down from the fucking mothership, right? The president had this 100 victories for people of faith. September 8th. September 10th is the day you know who got you know what to the throne in front of everybody on TikTok. But all this motherfucker made this whole list of 100 victories, and though none of this shit helps shit. This shit don't help shit. Nothing on this list. I mean, nothing on this list. And it's so crazy to me. This was before the 85 seconds to midnight. So all those 100 victories and we're 85 seconds to midnight. That's a miserable failure, right? Motherfucker talked about how he created the Centers for Faith and established the Religious Liberty Commission and appointed leaders of all faiths to the Religious Liberty Commission. And he established the task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias. What the fuck does that do? Why the fuck do you need a task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias? Don't you have the Lord? What the fuck you need a task force for? I thought the task force was the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, the Triune Trinity Triforce. That force, right? The Triforce. So what the fuck you need a task force for? You got the Triforce. Because you don't got the Triforce, and that's why we talk about it every fucking day. Y'all don't know. And honestly, you do know. You do know where it's at. No fucking where. It ain't nowhere. It doesn't exist as nowhere to be found. And whenever we challenge y'all, all y'all do is get emotional and whine and cry. And why are we so filled with hate? We're just so filled with hate. Wait. I'm filled with hate because I want you to show us your Triforce thing? That makes me a hateful person? Because I say, oh, that sounds really cool. This Triforce. Hey, I'd like to try the Force. Why don't you show me the Triforce? Now all of a sudden you say I'm filled with hate. That's not what people who have truth, who actually have truth, that's not how they do. That's not what they do. See, if I know I have the truth, which I know I have the truth, people who have the truth have no problem showing you. People who have the truth welcome people questioning them. Genuinely questioning them. Not these bullshit leading questions, not disingenuous questions, not that bullshit that a lot of these propagandists do. I mean like genuine questions like, hey, I don't understand what you're talking about. What do you mean by XYZ? What do you mean by ABC? Oh, you said this. What do you mean by that? Okay, I can show you. Look, here's what I mean. I can see that's what people who have truth do. They are happy to go into more depth of their knowledge to show you what they mean and how what they mean collaborates and corroborates with reality to help you better understand so that you can become a more informed person. If all it takes is the Socratic method, if all it takes is asking you a few basic ass questions to get you in a tizzy, your shit is bullshit. Your shit is capped. It shouldn't take a basic ass question to ruffle your feathers to say, hey, where's this thing that you're talking about? How exactly do we fight it? These are the type of questions that should be par for the course. That should be obvious. They should be basic as fuck. You should have been prepared. It's not like y'all haven't had thousands of fucking years to prepare for this moment. But see, these people are so delusional. They never thought that this moment would ever come. They never thought this moment would ever come. Not only that, but that somebody like me would be so obnoxious about it, that I would be so fucking candid, that I would be so loud, that I would be so direct, that I would just be so fucking mean. See, that's why they say I'm filled with hate, because I'm mean as fuck, and I have every right to be. I'm rude as shit, and I don't have a problem with that, because this ain't no debate no more. All the debates have been happening for 1,000 years. That shit is dead. The time for debate is over. The time for demonstration is now. If what you have to say is so real and so true and so correct, show us right now. It's now 5:21 p.m. Central Standard Time. The time keeps elapsing, and yet, despite 2.4 billion Christians in the world and 200 plus million of them here in America, fucking zero of them can demonstrate their claims. And this is at the core of what I call the ultimate rage paradox, that despite the fact that billions of Christians have existed throughout human history for thousands of years, zero of them can demonstrate any of their theocratic, theistic nonsense. How can that be? All it takes is one theist, one time to demonstrate their theistic claims, to demonstrate their theological claims, to demonstrate the existence of whatever deity or deities that they subscribe to, whatever it is that they claim is the supernatural, super, ultra, super thing or things. They should be able to present it to us. I find it obnoxious when they say things like, oh, well, how are we supposed to show you in the physical that which is in the spiritual? That's like a you problem. See, if you're going to be the one claiming that there's this spiritual stuff, then you should show us the spiritual stuff. Otherwise, you ain't talking about shit. What are you talking about? Nothing. And that's the point. We live in a time now where all this supernatural sci-fi fantasy lunacy needs to move the fuck around. All this pseudo-intellectual, pseudo-scientific, anti-intellectual, anti-scientific bullshit needs to end. It needs to end, it needs to end, it needs to end now. Because at the end of the day, who is it helping? It's not helping us, right? And it's not just theism. It's all these goofy ideologies, whether we're talking about astrology, flat earth, fucking the Jedi, all this type of shit. Look, if you are a fan of fantasy fiction, I ain't got no problem with that, right? Plenty of people love fiction. It's cool. But the moment you start trying to pretend that this fiction is real, I got a problem with that. The moment that you think that you can put the Megazords together and actually fight against evil, something is fucking wrong with your brain. Okay, I love the Power Rangers too. Okay, Power Rangers is a TV show. Okay, but it's not real. Was not real. Now, that's not to say that in the future, maybe perhaps we could actually build things like Megazords and Gundams and shit like that. But see, in the real world, that would require a lot of fucking investment, a lot of coordination, a lot of people working together to literally make that happen. And as you can see, we are divided states and corporations. We are not united at all, so we do not have the ability to do that shit. I mean, who knows? Maybe the government's been doing that. Maybe the government's been using all those $800+ billion a year annual fucking budget to build big-ass motherfucking goddamn Megazord Gundams or whatever the fuck. I don't know, right? That's top secret information, and that's above my pay grade. I don't have the security clearance for that, all right? So there's that. But other than that, where they at? And so this is why we have to have these conversations. Because again, ultimately, what are we doing? What do we want? What are our goals? See, this is why I don't play into partisan politics, religious bullshit. And like I've always said, religion is politics. Politics is religion. People who are religious base their political views on their religious views, and vice versa. They base their political views on their religious views. It's one and the same, right? So at the end of the day, well, we gotta question that shit because the people who are in power have been doing the shittiest job, and they clearly see they're doing the shittiest job, and yet they still profess and purport their sci-fi fantasy lunacy. We gotta call that shit out. A lot of people have asked me, well, why do you care? Why do you care why people believe what they believe? Why don't you just let them believe what they want to believe? And then you can just believe what you want to believe and let them believe what they want to believe. Well, I showed y'all, but like I'm going to show you again, right? We don't let them believe what they want to believe because it's now 85 seconds to midnight. Now our fucking collective survival is at stake. So now, no, we don't let you believe what you want to believe. See, because if this wasn't an issue, then that ain't nothing to talk about. If we were doing great as a society, well then, whatever, believe what you want to believe. I'm doing good, we all doing good, everybody good, so hey. But no, we're not doing good. We see the bullshit every day. We see the horror stories. We see the disgusting, sad tragedies that happen all the fucking time. Every fucking day. All the fucking time. There's so much shit that happens that can't even cover it all. It's so much shit. Right? Right now, the shit that gets the coverage is shit that's like extra shit or because the motherfucker's a famous motherfucker, right? People come up missing every day, but because Nancy Guthrie is fucking Savannah Guthrie's mother, they're going to talk about that every day. But people come up missing every fucking day. Never to be heard from again, never to be found again. Or maybe they get found after fucking so many years when somebody stumbled upon human remains after fucking 30, 40 years or some shit. But this is not the outcome that we want. These are not the optimal outcomes that we want as a society. At least it shouldn't be. If we want a society that prioritizes our collective survival and our wellness, our ability to live and live good, healthy, wonderful lives, then the people who are in power have to want that. And all they demonstrate is that they don't want that, which is why even though here in America, we literally spend the most out of all developed nations on healthcare, we don't get the best healthcare outcomes. This is a quintessential example of what I call the scam capital, the capital of the world. Because how is it you spend the most on some shit and don't get the best shit? Isn't the point of spending the most so that you can get the best? Why would you spend $1,500 on some Louis if that Louis ain't shit? Why wouldn't I just get this $50 Nike shit then? The Nike shit's better and it's way less expensive. Why would I fucking get the $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 for some shit? That's some bullshit. Why would I want that? For the sake of saying, oh, I was able to spend $1,500 on this. Man, fuck out of here with that shit. That's that whack shit, man. At the end of the day, what do we want as a society? And how do we hope to get there? We First of all, we have to get real with reality. That's where it starts. By recognizing, look, we don't know everything. As of right now, it's impossible to know everything. There's so much shit to discover. There's shit about planet Earth that we haven't figured out, let alone the universe and the cosmos and how deep that rabbit hole goes. So for all these loonies to act like, to pretend like they know everything, yet they can't answer the most basic questions right now. They can't demonstrate the answers, actual real answers, right? They claim there's a supernatural entity, but yet not one of them can show us right now. All they have are excuses. That's disgusting. It was one thing like, say, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago when they couldn't, but nowadays that's unacceptable. You can't sit here talking about you have the truth and yet you can't show us this truth. If you can't show us this truth, yet you continue to purport it, in my opinion, that is evil. That's evil, period. Because now you know you're full of shit. You have been introduced, you have been exposed to the fact that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You have been exposed to the fact that you have failed miserably to demonstrate your claim, yet you continue, yet you insist upon purporting this claim. That is evil to me. That's spreading disinformation. As far as I'm concerned, disinformation is evil. Spreading bullshit intentionally, knowing damn well it's intentional. Trying to deceive so that it can make you some money, so that you can fucking exploit people, so you can exploit communities. That's evil. Trapping people in these ridiculous ideas that literally don't actually help them. That's evil. That's evil. There's no other way around it. It doesn't help us understand the world better. It doesn't help us solve any problem at all. Any modern mainstream, or not even mainstream, just any modern problem. We talk about all the time: homelessness, hunger, healthcare, fucking mental health and substance abuse crisis, climate change, fucking poverty, all these different issues that have existed for even since supposedly Jesus was alive. In thousands of years, they still ain't figured out solutions. And they don't seem to be the least bit bothered to solve any of this shit. That's evilness to me. How so many people can come together to do everything but even attempt to solve problems. That's the greatest, longest running scam in human history. The fact that our country, that so many people believe that our country is based on this scam is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And it's literally destroying us. That's why we were 85 seconds to midnight. The closest that the doomsday clock has ever been in its 80-year history. They don't seem to give a fuck. That's that nihilism shit. And to me, that's evil. That's evil. That's why I find it so ridiculous when they try to assert that atheism is nihilism. That's so crazy. Sure, there might be some nihilistic atheists. I would never deny that. You know, you're going to get all kinds of people under any group. But the fact of the matter is, your group is completely, utterly a fucking failure, because this group, this sci-fi fantasy lunacy, is not giving a fuck about any of these statistics, giving a fuck about any of these data, or trying to figure out how to use this data to accomplish anything. Anything of use, anything that's useful. I mean, they can use this bullshit to extract resources from people, right? We see all these mega church pastors getting rich as fuck, building their fucking empires, rocking that fresh ass fucking designer shit. Oh, and gaining access to children so they can rape them. We see that every fucking day, all the time. Every fucking day we look up Christian rape, motherfucking new rapists, old rapists, motherfuckers that were exposed for rapists, for being rapists for so many years, for so many fucking decades. All of a sudden, we see this lunacy. We motherfucking minor fuckers get exposed for their fucking lunacy. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many stories. I don't even know if we even need to get into it today. Um, okay, well, I'll show y'all one. I'll show y'all one of these fucking loonies. Because this shit don't ever stop. This is from yesterday. Judge hands maximum sentence for sexual abuse to former Columbus pastor, according to the Columbus Dispatch. Dominic Ford, a former pastor at a church on Columbus's southwest side, pleaded guilty in January to 3 counts of sexual battery. See, these are the types of things that we also talk about, right? Because it's not just about what they do in Congress, what they do in the White House, it's also what they've been doing in our society. The fact that they can't stop. The fact that these are stories that happen every fucking day. Look at this shit. I swear to God. Look at this fucking loser. Loser. From the Daily Express, church in Wales promoted child abuser bishop despite known sexual assault claims. And look at that. Warning, distressing content. Isn't that crazy? How these entities are known for distressing content because they can't stop. It says right here, this guy I was just showing you, Anthony Pierce, admitted to 5 counts of indecent assault against a male under the age of 16. Offenses committed while he was a parish priest. What do you know? What a surprise. I couldn't have told you that. We mentioned this one the other day. This fucking loser. By the Telegraph, Bishop's child sexual assault labeled a hiccup by the church. Oopsie. Oh, well. Oh, just a minor hiccup, just a quick little child rape every now and then. It's just a bit of a hiccup. It wasn't really that big of a deal. It was just like, oops, didn't mean to abuse children, fam. Totally schmoly was not trying to do that. Okay, I lied. The stories keep coming. They keep coming. There's another loser. This fucking loser. From WPMT Techna articles, Dauphin County pastor charged for alleged sexual abuse of children 2 days ago. Like, the stories never end, folks. The stories never end. I didn't do a live yesterday, but these stories just keep coming. These stories just keep coming. It doesn't end. It doesn't stop. And it's such a joke that this is the shit that happens on their watch, by their leaders, by their loonies, and yet they just can't figure out. They just can't figure out how to stop it. They just cannot figure out how to stop it. They can't fucking stop it. They can't figure out how to use the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit to stop any of this madness. And what do I say? This shit is happening every day. Every day. New stories, old stories, just every day, some Christian loony is getting fucking caught up. Look at this. Another one. Another article by WFMY Techna Articles. Former Vandalia Christian teacher in Guilford County arrested on 10 counts of child sexual exploitation, court records show. A now former 6th grade teacher at Vandalia Christian School, a private Christian school in Guilford County, was arrested Friday on 10 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of minors. And probably some other shit. And here's another one from 6 days ago. Church volunteer facing sexual assault charges found incompetent. No shit! I could have told you that. Of course they're incompetent. What the fuck? You think that these minor fuckers are sane? Obviously they're incompetent as fuck. That's why they keep getting caught. every fucking day. Every day. Multiple times a day. Especially on Sundays. They just can't stop it, fam. That's why we fucking challenge these minor fuckers on a regular basis. That's why we talk about it. Y'all thought the Epstein shit was fucking crazy. Look at this shit. This is every day. This is one of the things I try to tell y'all. The Epstein story shows you that, yes, even the people in the highest of places, the celebrities, the fucking business magnates, the fucking government officials, yes, they're rapists, some of them. Yes, some of them are engaged in these paraphilic actions. But the real shit is how this shit is happening in communities all across the world, not just in America, but across the world. And they can't figure out how to stop it. They can't figure out how to stop it, despite the fact that they claim that they have the supernatural, super intelligent, super thing. Look at this. 4 days ago, Lansdale native, Bible teacher sexually assaulted teen, or AL.com. Lawsuit alleges sexual abuse by prominent Assembly of God pastor. Or this. Former teacher, coach at New Jersey Catholic school at the center of third sexual abuse lawsuit. I mean, fam. When I say this is every day, I mean it's every fucking day. And I didn't have to do a deep dive. All I did was type in Christian sexual assault and just filtered for the past week. The past week. This is just shit within the past fucking week. Here's another one. From WH&T Huntsville, Trinity United Methodist Church. 3 employees deny allegations made in child sexual abuse lawsuit. Trinity United Methodist Church and 3 employees have denied allegations made against them in a lawsuit regarding child sexual abuse at the Trinity Child Development Center. How is it? How is it that they're just within 1 week? Within 1 fucking week, stories all over the fucking world. All over the world. Wales, fucking America. I mean, like, this shit is crazy. This is why I say that this shit is evil. Oh, and then okay. And then you have this one story. We're gonna be fair. Look, groups unite against gun violence in Savannah Saturday. Yeah, you get this one. A Savannah rally highlighted survivors, faith leaders, and groups urging mentorship and resources to curb gun violence and save lives. Yeah, and they're still failing miserably. Still failing miserably. They have this supernatural, super entity, super thing, and yet they still got to do rallies that fail anyway. This is why I say they're evil. The people in Savannah, look, their hearts are in the right place. They want to stop violence, as we should. But they still think that they're going to do it with faith, despite the fact that over thousands of years, they've been the most violent fuckers in the fucking world. Them. They've been the ones doing the violence. And even now, I just showed you all this sexual violence that they do. Not this particular group necessarily that I'm aware of, but their community members, leaders of their community. These are the leaders. This ain't even talking about just random parishioners. These are pastors, priests, teachers, coaches, the people that the youth look up to, that the youth are told are going to help them to understand and to live in the world of whatever the fuck sci-fi fantasy bullshit they be talking about. And yet, the reality is, the church is where they are in the most danger. That's where they're in the most danger. See, and I use their resource. Look, check this out. I've shown y'all this so many times. Not in our church. Keep me safe, Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Protect me from the violent who devise ways to trip my feet. Psalms 144. Right? And yet, even they admit, yeah, motherfuckers in the church always engaging in this behavior. Abuse of power comes as no surprise. So check this out, right? I'm about to show y'all. Y'all already, those of y'all who fuck with me who are still here, y'all know exactly where I'm going. check this out. This is and not in our church.com/statistics. This is clearly a pro-Christian website. Clergy's sexual misconduct with adults is a huge problem, prevalent across all denominations, all religions, all faith groups, all across the country. This is them. This is the Christians admitting that they're full of shit. Check this out. A survey of 6,000 United Methodists found half of all lay women and 1/3 of lay men witness or are victims of some degree of sexual harassment or misconduct in their congregations, from inappropriate comments by the pastor or laity in leadership to physical assault and stalking. That's just one thing. That's just one thing, right? These are the everyday things. Oh, check this out. I love this one. This is my favorite one. This is why I'm so shocked that the overwhelming majority of theists are women. Women hate themselves. At least theistic women hate themselves. Reverend Pamela Cooper White, former director of the Center for Women and Religion at the Graduate Theological Union in Berkeley, California, and currently Benji and Nancy Clapp Gautier Professor of Pastoral Theology, Care, and Counseling at Columbia Theological Seminary in Decatur, Georgia, estimates that the vast majority of victims of sexual exploitation by clergy, more than 95% are women. 95%! 95! 95. 95% are women. 95%. So, like, the extreme majority. That's fucking crazy. Why would women enrich, empower, and enable these fucking rapists? Why? Why would they do that? And then, of course, I gotta show you this one. The same shit I show you all the time. This is all in our church.com/statistics, by the way. There are studies that demonstrate that the faith community is even more vulnerable to abuse than secular environments. The Abel and Harlow study revealed that 93% of sex offenders describe themselves as religious, and that this category of offender may be the most dangerous. Other studies have found that sexual abusers within faith communities have more victims and younger victims. Okay, so basically, you are more likely to be attacked, to be assaulted in a church than literally anywhere else in society. This is publicly available information, yet this is not publicly promoted information. And I venture to believe that it's by design. Because the overwhelming majority of the population are Christian. So the overwhelming population of people don't want to know that they believe in this evil sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit, which in my opinion makes them evil. They don't want to know that they're evil. They don't want to know that their ideology is evil. They want to tell themselves that they're such wonderful and amazing people, and yet they're evil as fuck. I was just watching a video earlier today. In fact, once again, it was Bloodlines. Was it Bloodline? Hold up. Let me look at my history. I do believe it was Bloodline's latest video. It's this crime channel on YouTube. I watch a lot of crime shit. Yep. And one of the things I hate is this is constantly happening. So yeah, this is their video from today. Killer duo murdered 13-year-old daughter, think they're going home. Should check that out. I watched that earlier today before I got on the live. But long story short, just to sum up for you, the killer duo were these two older black ladies down in Florida who, I guess one of them was the guardian for the 13-year-old girl. And let's just say that they murdered her and did unthinkable things to her. And then, of course, at least the one of them, the one who snitched, she started talking all that Jesus stuff. Oh, the people at church, what are they gonna think? She always tells them that she's super mom, and the Lord knows, like the Lord knows that she ain't mean to do it. She didn't mean to do it. And even though she confessed to it, why are they still gonna arrest her? Why would she tell them where they can find the body if they're gonna arrest her anyway? I mean, she confessed to doing the crime. Why would she then tell them where they can find the poor little girl? The poor young girl, the young lady. Why would she tell? And it's just like to see the entitlement on some of these fucking psychos. It's absurd. And the fact that none, I repeat, none of these sci-fi fantasy ideologies ever prevent this craziness from happening, ever stop the madness from fucking happening, and never finds any form of solution to any of this stuff ever, goes to show you how evil they are. This is the nihilism. This is literally the nihilism and denialism. It's nihilism and denialism. They deny that this is the reality that we experience on a regular basis. They deny that this is the reality that we see, that we demonstrate, that this is publicly available information. Right? And they don't seem to really give a fuck, which might explain why they never ever accomplish anything, why they never do anything to try to. I'm okay. I shouldn't say they don't do anything because we just saw the Savannah shit. They don't do anywhere near enough, despite the fact that there are 200 million of these fuckers. How these fuckers are in every position in government, business, all of that. Power, wealth, fame, fortune. They got reaches beyond what anybody could ever believe. And they don't even talk about any of this stuff, let alone figure out real solutions. It's a goddamn shame. Like the Savannah group, right? Like, they think they're going to stop the violence by telling people, hey, stop the violence. Stop the violence. When has that ever worked? When the fuck has that ever worked? I live in Chicago. You don't think motherfuckers ain't been doing stop the violence, stop the violence, stop the violence this whole entire time? Do you think that psychopaths like, you know what? Now that you said stop the violence, I'm going to stop the violence, guys. You know what? I'm going to put my psychopathic tendencies to the side. I'm going to drop my gun, and I'm going to fucking go home and make something up. That does not fucking happen. Especially in this society that rewards that antisocial mentality, where some of these antisocial loonies start making music about their antisocial behaviors, where they demonstrate their antisocial tendencies. They all want to point guns at the camera all the fucking time, talking about how they so gangster and they fucking go on these drills and all that type of shit. And they make millions of dollars. They get millions of views. They gain millions of streams. They get all these hoe-ass fucking content creators to fucking promote their psychopathic behavior. I mean, it is unreal to see all these content creators that are so obsessed with all these gangbangers in the street, many of whom have lost their lives. Why are they so obsessed with these psychos? What the fuck do these psychos ever contribute to society? Any of them. Any of them. What do they contribute to society? Okay, they made a song that was hot. Okay, whatever. How did that help society, though? They're the ones helping to terrorize our society, and yet they're getting record deals and getting millions of dollars. And then when they get their millions, then they want to commit drills. They want to pay money to commit drills. Now they're fucking in prison for fucking committing the drill, and y'all know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. The fact of the matter is, we live in a society that's hyper-theistic. Hyper-theistic. I mean, like I said the other day, my uncle just started my uncle came through the other day and just started randomly spouting off that retarded shit. The Lord don't make mistakes. The Lord don't do this and do that and do this, and the Lord does this and he says that and this. That. You can't fucking reason with anybody like that. You can't get through to anybody like that. You can challenge them all day, but at the end of the day, they're going to spout their bullshit. They're going to believe their crap. That's why I do what I do. Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to find all the real people who get it, the people who see the reality, who see that this sci-fi fantasy fucking nonsense is not working, will not work, has never worked, and is useless. We need another way. We need another way, and we already know the way. I already said it earlier in the fucking live. STEAM, science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics, our greatest tool for understanding, discovering, and mastering our reality, will help us to understand how we can shape things in our collective benefit. But it's not just that, but it's understanding that we're all in this together. See, one of the reasons why I talked about the Fermi paradox is to highlight just how precious and rare life really is. The reason why we discuss these suicide statistics is not just so that we are informed about this, which we of course should be, but also to realize how fucked up of a society we must have when we understand that life is rare and people still check out. They're like, fuck this shit. The mere fact that I exist is cool, but I'm good on that. It goes to show you the fact that we are clearly in a mental health and substance abuse crisis, when we should be looking at life like is a fucking how they say, a blessing. It's a wonderful thing because it's so rare. Yet, when we see the conditions that so many people have to live in, when we see so many suboptimal conditions, so many people who grow up with pain and traumas that never get appropriately, adequately treated, cured. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't even get diagnosed because we have a hyper-capitalist system that requires that you get money in order to be able to get the care, and a lot of insurance plans don't carry the care. They don't prioritize our care. This is what capitalism does. It kills us. It prevents us from getting the help that we need, which is why we need to fucking beat capitalism at its own game. That's why I urge everybody who fucking fucks with me, who rocks with me, to fucking hit that like, hit that follow, share everywhere. Go to offthe9.com to check out the motherfucking website, how we are building the fucking infrastructure to shore up all of these coordination failures that all of these companies, industries, governmental facilities, governmental organizations, churches, all these entities have failed to accomplish. Right? All these resources that they have, all these trillions and trillions of dollars, and yet we're 85 seconds to midnight. That's unacceptable. That's a goddamn shame. For people that claim that they have the truth and they have all this money, they have all these members, they have all these resources, how can they be such miserable failures? How can they be such miserable failures? At this point, they're miserable failures because they want to be. They choose to be. They choose not to use their resources to actually solve these problems. Because what's stopping them? What exactly is stopping them? If they really wanted to help us, why don't they just do it? Why don't they do it? They don't do it because it's not, at least they think it's not in their best interest to do it. So we have to incentivize these fucks. Either we got to incentivize them or we got to take that shit ourselves so that we can do it. Because this shit is untenable and it can't stand any longer. This evil shit needs to end. Either these minor fuckers need to put up or shut the fuck up forever. If they're not evil, now is the time. Now is the time for them to show us not only that they're not evil, but that they're actually good, that their ideas are good, that their ideas are pro-social, that their ideas are pro-social, that their methods, their methodologies are actually pro-social, that they help society. That's what I mean by pro-social. See, these fools be anti-social. The things that they do have hurt society, harmed society, which is why we're at this place where we're 128 on the Global Peace Index, where we're 85 seconds to midnight. If they were pro-social, we would be number 1 on the Global Peace Index, or at the very least, we'd be a lot higher than we are right now. At the very least, can we at least, I mean, and it's so sad because we set the bar so fucking low for these loonies, and they always fail 100% of the time. Can we get in the top 100? I know y'all claim y'all care about American exceptionalism, but see, y'all have demonstrated, and I'm not talking about my people, I'm talking about these fucking loonies. You loonies have demonstrated that y'all don't care about exceptionalism other than being exceptional fucking failures. That's not the type of exceptionalism we were talking about. So, even though we might agree on the word exceptional, we didn't agree on the usage of it. See, we talked about exceptionalism as in being exceptionally awesome. Y'all thought we meant being exceptionally suckage, being exceptionally horrible, exceptionally inefficient, exceptional failures. That's not what the fuck we want. Why would we want to fail? What the fuck kind of loony wants to be a failure? What kind of loony celebrates failure, that claims failure is greatness, that claims that failure is progress? And I don't mean failure like, oh, you tried to win, you had to learn, take your lumps, and then you had to improve. No. You want to lose. You actually are happy about losing. You're like, yes, we're number 128. Yes, we did it. We're so fucking great. Yeah, no, that's not great. That's horrible. And the time is now for us to actually choose to be great. Not just say that we want to be great, but actually become great. Actually manifest greatness, to actually exude greatness, to literally exemplify greatness. But in order to do that, we have to be on the same page of what we mean by greatness. Greatness would mean actually improving the state of our society. First of all, recognizing what improvement means. Having a higher quality of life, having a clean environment where we can breathe clean air and drink clean water and eat clean food that is grown in clean soil, right? Where we can actually have a peaceful society where you don't have to fear your fellow neighbor, where you don't have to fear your fellow human being, where you can be trusting of everybody, where we can all love each other and work together interdependently with synergy to create a well-functioning society that prioritizes our collective wellness and survivability, and then we can pay it forward to future generations and set them up for real success, not fucking failure. The time is now to get real with reality, and these fucking loonies need to knock it the fuck off now. Period. That's why I'm so direct. That's why I'm so rude. That's why I say that they're retarded. That's why I say their ideology is retarded. All forms of theism is retarded, are retarded. They are completely divorced from reality. They are completely delusional as hell. They need to stop with the delusional nonsense and actually work to contribute to helping us master our reality, or else what the fuck is the point? I don't know. And that's why we got to talk about it. So thank y'all, all of y'all, for coming through. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. All the real ones, all the fake ones we kicked into the curb, they can kick rocks. I don't care to see them ever again. They can miss me. They can stay on weak ass TikTok and stay on that bullshit. The fucking the goddamn 1984 platform. They can kick rocks. All the real ones who came over, I'll fuck with y'all, appreciate y'all, and trust me, we're gonna bring some goddamn sense to this crazy ass world once and for all. Once we show people that this sci-fi fantasy bullshit don't make any goddamn sense. So that is the conclusion of yet another amazing episode of the No Cap Zone, where we have a super duper strict ass dress code. Not get the fuck off with that capping ass garbage. The only kind of camp that we allow around these parts, yo, thinking cap. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. You see, all we care about, the facts, the truth, the data, the information, the statistics, the evidence, things that can actually be demonstrated in real life, in real time, while we're a sound mind and sane mind. Otherwise, I have no idea what the fuck these loonies out here be talking about. And to tell you the truth, they don't know what the fuck they talking about, which is why we always got to talk about it. So all my people out there, stay smooth, okay? Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stop being bitch-ass simps and pick-me's for these psycho narcos, these narcissistic psychopaths. Stand on your own too. Be your own person. Love yourself. You can't fucking love anybody if you don't love yourself, because these loonies don't love you. They don't love us. That's why we're 85 seconds to midnight. So get the fuck up off your knees and be able to be yourself by yourself, because it's better than being abused and gaslit by these loonies out here, okay? Let's bring some goddamn sense to this crazy ass world once and for all. Huh? Holla back at your motherfucking boy, man. Subscribe, like, off the9.com.